Shalom. This is Truth is Everlasting. Lion's Den. I am Yahweh Sop. I camp out with Lion Den, Hawan Ben Yashawada in Jacksonville, Florida. First, I'd like to give a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the Akims, and to the women and children. Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha Rokak Wadash, Mahamah, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and in truth. Double honors to the 144,000 chosen elect. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder Hawam. Salutations to the Akims who are on the four corners of the earth. And to the women and children, Shalom. Well, something popped up here on the phone, and the Spirit moved me to do a lesson because it has a lot of truth behind it. The great deception of moderate society, right? They sold us a belief system. They educated us in the belief system, right? And now, lo and behold, we can look at the results of the lies that they have told us and the deception as well. The title of this lesson is called Knowledge Will Increase. I'll play a little bit of it, and then we go into it. Scripturally, right?
Modernity has been sold as the pinnacle of human development. We are told that we live in the best time in history, in a world where technology has eliminated many of the hardships that plagued past generations. We can communicate instantly with anyone on the planet, access an unlimited amount of information, and enjoy comforts that were unthinkable just a few decades ago. However, despite all these advantages, something fundamental seems to be missing. Instead of feeling more fulfilled, many people experience a sense of emptiness they can't explain. We were promised a better world, but somewhere along the way, that promise was broken. From a young age, we absorb the narrative that society advances in a linear and progressive manner. We believe that every innovation brings us closer to a fuller, more comfortable, more meaningful life. However, this belief is rarely questioned. It is assumed that technological and economic development automatically equates to greater well-being. But if that were true, why do more and more people feel dissatisfied? Modernity has created a paradox. Instead of bringing us closer to happiness, it has amplified the sense of disconnection. The problem does not lie in progress itself.
Hello,
Oops,
my name is Adam
Slovakia, you know
Ferrari,
how it is.
Chief
Give me a
Executive
minute.
Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you.
There you
Of
go.
disconnection. The problem does not lie in progress itself, but in the way human existence has been redefined within this new structure. Society has transformed life into an endless race where the goal is not to live, but to produce and consume. We are taught that the key to fulfillment lies in constant growth, in the accumulation of goods, in optimizing time, in maximizing performance. But in the obsessive pursuit of these ideals, we have lost sight of what is essential. The promise of progress also sold us the illusion of connectivity. We were told that technology would bring us closer than ever before, that it would eliminate distances and facilitate human relationships. However, reality proves otherwise. Instant communication has not strengthened bonds, but made them more superficial. Digital interaction has replaced genuine contact, and constant exposure to images of other people's lives has turned comparison into a destructive habit. Never before has humanity had access to so many forms of interaction, yet the feeling of isolation continues to grow. Another pillar of this broken promise is the idea that knowledge would set us free. Access to information is practically unlimited, but instead of leading us to a deeper understanding of the world, it has plunged us into an ocean of distractions. We live bombarded by stimuli that fragment our attention and prevent us from stopping to reflect. Information has ceased to be a means to wisdom and has become a fast consumption product designed more to entertain than to enrich.
Okay, let me stop it there so you can see how the belief system of the Edomites did not bring peace, joy, right? No truth, but misery, right? I want to go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run and to and fro, Salakia, and knowledge shall be increased. Well, that is true. Knowledge has increased. But knowledge of this world, just like when they say they have wisdom, it's wisdom from below, not wisdom from above, right? Because see, the belief system of the Edomite, which is wicked to begin with, also all those law books that they have, right, that we should not be even buying, right? We should be able to look at them freely, okay? But they make it so complicated, right, to go to these federal buildings nowadays, you know? And now they make the books so high price that you cannot afford it, you know? Those are books that people should not be, government should not be even selling to begin with, right? It belongs to the taxpayers. Everyone in their home should have all the law books, right? But that's something that they keep hidden from our people, okay? Because then you will see the wickedness, right? The deception, the con, right? That they use when they say this is the law, and you find out it's not a law. It's only a belief system of wickedness. I want to go to Proverbs chapter 1. Give me a minute. And Daniel, you know, he was given the prophecy to prophesy what's going to happen in the future. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Right? So when people, especially our people, hear this, right, the so-called Negros Latinos making speckled birds, they say, well, you know, the video that you just play is talking about how knowledge has not helped people at all. Well, that's because it's the knowledge of the wicked, not the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the righteous. Okay? Proverbs, give me a minute. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 9. An hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Right? Through the knowledge of what? Of whom? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Not through the knowledge of the Edomites, the wicked, right? Satan, the devil, you see? But they have, you know, deceived so much of our people, at least 2/3, right? The so-called Negros, Latinos, and speckled birds, that to this day, 2025, right? Our people are still getting ready to, for what? To practice Easter. On Sunday, I believe, right? Still, even with technology, even with knowledge that has increased. So if knowledge has increased, that means that the knowledge of the wicked does not bring truth, but lies and deception, right? And now people don't want to look into it because they don't really care about who they really are, and they don't care about Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, okay? Which is going to be a price to pay for not caring for the truth. Verse 10, when it goes well with the righteous, the cities rejoice. And when the wicked perish, there is no shouting. No, because they have done so much damage, so much wickedness around the world. Their own people don't even want them around in power no more. Right? Verse 11. By the blessings of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. Yeah. Look what they have done to the whole world. Even the earth does not want the Edomites on it anymore. Right? They have done so much damage in what they're about to do. Right? Got to remember, because of the technology that was given to him by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, that they enjoy so much, because now it gives them more power, but at the same time they have created what is called dirty electricity that's causing a lot of problems to all ages around the world. Right? Now they want how do I put it? They want the regular people who are not in power to have the solution to the problem. Right? Edomites created it, and now they're gonna come and say, hey, we need you to eat less meat. It's the cause of the problem. We need you to stop burping and stop farting. Right? Because you are the problem, right? You middle class and poor people. Crazy, right? 2 Timothy. Give me a minute. Why go there? 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that need not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the words of what? Truth. Right? And what's going on with the Edomites, they'll speak a very little bit of truth, right? And then a lot of lies to this, deceive and misdirect, our people, right? They can't speak the whole truth because, it's not in them. It's not in the DNA, okay? They don't have the capacity nor their IQ. Their IQ is to do wickedness, okay? Proverbs chapter 18. Give me a minute. Chapter 18, verse 15. The heart, the mind of the prudent gets knowledge, and the ears of wise seeks knowledge. Right? So when you look at the word prudent, you find out that it says showing good judgment in, what is this? How I wrote this? Avoiding risk and uncertainties. Careful. Well, the only way you're going to have good judgment is when you are guided by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? You can study all you want, but if you don't study the truth, how are you going to have good judgment? Right? You can read many books. It's not going to bring you to the truth. Right? Only through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai brings good judgment, and it brings the truth of who we are and who the wicked are. Okay? I want to go to Proverbs chapter 8, verse 32. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. See? Say the Bible, which only belongs to the so-called Negros, Latinos, Nicans, and speckled birds, the true Hebrew Israelites, okay, teaches us, right, and instruct us what we need to do, what we need to practice, right, to the best of our ability, okay, and whose name we should be quoting to gain the truth and understanding, right? Verse 33. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. But hey, 2/3 of our people, they want wisdom from below and not wisdom from above. Stiff-necked. They want to keep giving the finger to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. 34. Blessed is the man that hears me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. Right? But 2/3 again of our people, all they want to do is chase the bag. All they want to do is be in entertainment, right? Of the things of this wicked world. There's nothing wrong that you want to work and make some extra money, or make some more money, right? But when it takes over, that you got to do the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? To build up that spiritual credit. That's the part that our people have a hard time, And it's not only money. You got to be careful also with, with family, right? After a while, they want you to spend more and more time with them when you got to do the work of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? And those so-called friends, you got to be careful as well, okay? Archbishop Kanak did a lesson, said how to have your mindset, right? Because we are getting closer every day, more and more, right? For this wicked world to come to an end. I want to go to verse 35. For whoso finds me finds life and shall obtain favor of Yahweh. We want and we need favor, big time. Verse 36, but he that sins against me wrong his own soul. All they that hate me loves death. See? So it's going to get ugly, okay, for those that keep insisting that they don't have to repent with fear and trembling. The so-called Negros, Latinos, Negroes, and speckled birds. I want to go to Proverbs chapter 29, verse 15. The rod and reproof gives wisdom, but a child left to himself brings his mother to shame. Yeah. If Yahweh Shai is not spanking you, that's because he doesn't want to get your attention. You're living a good life in this wicked world, right? You got it made, right? But it's going to come to an end, okay? Verse 16, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increase, but the righteous shall see their fall. Yeah, they're going to fall. And it's getting closer, It's getting closer. I'm going to leave it with Proverbs chapter 4, verse 13. Let me start with 13. Take fast hold of instructions. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Right? And what's the other name for wisdom? Sophia. Knowledge. You see? There's a lot of fake imposters out there saying they have the knowledge. Right? Nathan the Snake. Right? From United in Christ is one. Right? He knows he's a Hebrew Israelite. Right? He used to even call the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But we have other camps that know that they're Hebrew Israelites and are doing the same thing. Right? Okay. I'll read with verse 16. For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. And who does that? The Edomites. Right? They want to have some of our people participate with them, and they will give them, the bag so they can do wicked work against their own people. Right? Edomites will not sleep if they're not being mischief, right? They're not doing wickedness all the time, day and night, nonstop. And now with AI, that's more consistent, right? So, let's see what I have here. One more, verse 17, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Boy, is that the truth. For find the belief system of this wicked world, look what's going on today, right? They want to implement the MOTV, the charagma, the CHIP, right? They want to turn everyone into cyborgs, right? That's crazy. Well, I hope that this was edifying, and with that I say, Shalom.